Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. One of my favorite a cappella groups just released a cover of one of the best metal songs. And I have to say, I'm quite surprised that VoicePlay went full metal. I usually associate them more with the Disney and pop and fantasy. So I am intrigued and cannot wait a day longer to listen to their version of Nothing Else Matters. Let's get to it. This is already extremely delightful to listen to. And one of the things that was right off the bat just incredibly enjoyable and I feel like very accurate in capturing the sound of the initial instrumental part of the song, but with a vocal, was this choice of dum, like DM. This syllable, I think, reflects the sharp, quick attack that's then sustained with an M. And I love that they've chosen to do this amongst all these voices and kind of pluck it around. That introduces all of the members really quickly, but in a very, in a way that blends everybody together at the same time. And then, of course, that was so cool when Geoff added an extra low note in here. I think that Geoff was the arranger on this one, and I'm hoping that as a result, we're going to see some really cool bass lines that pop out. There already were a couple, and I think that's going to happen some more. Let's go back. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes when you hear that low note, you just have to laugh. It's like, whoa, man, that's so low. Wow. I like the way that he put that in there. Wow. Okay, that's cool. I want to go back also and talk about each of these. Ooh, they're all popping in and out. Can we get one with all? Okay. In this frame, I'm going to talk about each of the faces you see, and then we're going to add one more face in another frame. So on the far left, you have Geoff Castellucci. He's the one that I said I think did this arrangement, and he sings bass. And then you have Violayne next. Violayne is going to be he does backing vocals as well, sometimes some lead vocals, but the thing that he's really well known for is the vocal percussion, and he's super awesome at it, really creative and fun. And then you have Ellie in the middle here. Ellie, I've often thought would sound amazing as the lead singer in a metal band, so I'm extra excited to see what he does with this. And then they're featuring Jay, who used to be a regular member of the group, but now is coming back every now and then to do sort of guest appearances with them. And then the person that we don't see is Caesar. There we go. Ha-ha! Caesar. So Caesar is the newest member of the group and has this really incredibly sweet voice and just bubbling, fun, happy personality. I love the way his energy fills into VoicePlay's videos. It's such a great, great match. Okay, back to the beginning one more time. What is that? Whoa! Yeah. Okay. That is an E1 for all y'all who really love getting nerdy about how low Geoff really can sing. E1 there. I believe it sounds very subharmonic-y to me. Geoff has an amazing low range though, where he's able to blend the subharmonic and full chest voice in his sound. So there are times when I'm mistaken about which one he's using. He's just honestly one of the most impressive low voice singers I've ever heard. Okay, one more time from the beginning. Let's go further this time. I love this. I love the spatialization. okay. Sorry, we're gonna go back one more. I think they played around just a little bit with the tempo here, and it's really effective. That slowdown, it's very subtle, and the re-entrance with Ellie's, oh, it's gorgeous. I love the way that Geoff's bass line here was brought out. And one of the things that brings it out more is the choice of syllable. You have oohs and ohs that are being a lot more like smooth. And then he has that sharp attack with the dim, 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 dim again. And that brings his line out. In addition to the movement. Dude, again, this like rumbly E1 that's coming in there, it's really ridiculous. Not there. That I think that's a subharmonic. The way that fills in and rattles so much, it feels like a foghorn rattling. This is so interesting how I feel like the voices are becoming really gorgeous instruments that are they're more like string instruments in a lot of ways, or electric guitars perhaps in some way, which actually matches very well with the orchestrated version of this as well. Oh, anyhow, I promise I will keep going a little bit more. That's impressive. Ooh, nice arpeggiation.
So close, no matter how far.
I'm really excited to see what Ellie's going to do with this line. But right before, I just want to point out the snaps in the background. They have a similar quality to the dims. Again, it has that sharper attack. It's like, it has a little more percussiveness essentially at the beginning. That gives us a little more spikes in the texture. And I think it's so interesting to compare where in this intro there's smoothness versus little spikes in the texture. Okay, back just a little bit, and then Ellie, I'm excited to hear what you do with this line. Straighten that collar.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters.
Ooh. Oh, interesting. We're gonna hand that line off. Okay, cool. I think this is quite low, on the lower side in Ellie's range. And I like the way he's able to just keep so much presence still. He's got a killer range, and his voice sounds like it has access to so much bite and edge in it, which is why I think he would be a great metal frontman singer or rock front singer. But then the way he can make it a little more mellow at the same time makes him just an ideal member for this kind of group. It's great. He has so many great qualities in his voice. I like the way he is adding just a tiny bit of edge to the sound, which makes it feel a little more James Hetfield without necessarily being totally James Hetfield. He also has excellent enunciation and really fun runs that he adds. They're subtle, they're not too much. One more time.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are.
I love the way he chooses moments when to creak in with the voice a little more or when to just have a really nice clean ending. I love the very subtle vibrato that he adds in. It's a lot of control over the expressiveness of his voice.
Forever trust in who we are, and nothing else matters.
That vibrato. Great handoff.
Open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, ooh, and nothing else matters.
It's so awesome to hear Jay next to Ellie. Both of these guys have incredible voices, and I feel like you really just have two different flavors of this melody. For me, Jay's voice has a lot more soul in it. There's more, I would just say more space and depth in the natural sound that Jay has, whereas Ellie's has more of that bite that I was talking about. Both can go to more bite or to more space, but the natural settings essentially on each voice are wonderful to hear beside each other. I like the way that both of them had so much focus as well. And this transition is amazing.
Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, ooh.
Oh man, the backing vocals are they're subtle and incredible. They give so much room and support to the lead vocal here, while providing this incredibly important role of this flow. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a almost like a wave going back and forth, like a rocking motion. And it's so interesting how every now and then they'll almost suspend and then come back in. This sweeping motion side to side, and also the way that there's a lot of variety in them. So if you just want to sit down and listen to the backing vocals only, you could be mesmerized by that for hours. It's very, very well put together.
Never open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, ooh, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you.
Wow. This is so good. This like really subtle low boom that's happening at the start of a few different measures. This is such a classy setting. It really works, I think, for Metallica. I like the hanging lights. I think this is filmed at Patty Cake Studios. Awesome filming space. It's just, it's classy. I love the black suits from everyone. I also like this tiny detail of how Ellie's shoes have white around the rim and then everything else is totally black. That's awesome. Oh man.
You and nothing else matters.
That's cool syncopation from Geoff. Oh wow. So there's syncopation right there in Geoff's line, draws it out some more, and then there's a boom that happens right when we start this next section, and it's really low.
Trust I seek.
That's great layering.
In you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. Oh, and nothing else matters.
One of the things I love about this song, the original one, is the harmonies and the way that sometimes they even feel a little bit angular in the harmonies. And I love the way that I feel that they've taken that inspiration and they're actually building on it, right? We've got 5 voices here that can harmonize possibly. We're getting more of that, and I am really excited to hear where it goes.
Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. Oh, and nothing else matters.
Dude. It's brilliant arranging from Geoff's end in how he has chosen to have a percussive front end to his sound or not. There are times when we want to listen to those thickened harmonies in the sound, and Geoff is purposefully not putting that little dum at the beginning. And then there's just at times when it's trying to be smoother and let those high harmonies become the focus. And then when he wants to draw your attention back to the bass line, you hear that percussive beginning again. It's really cool.
New, open mind for a different view. Oh, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do.
Shoot. Dude.
Never cared for.
Whoa, how low is that?
Never cared for what.
I think that's partly a subharmonic in there, along with maybe a filter in the mixing. And I should also give credit to Ed Boyer here, who I believe did the mixing. He might have put some things on Geoff's voice to smooth out those attacks at certain points. Or maybe Geoff was just naturally attacking it more when he wanted to bring more attention to that bass line. Because I do still see a little of the d kind of mouth shape happening at times when I'm hearing mostly the mms. So it's possible that we've got this combination essentially of masterminds, which is why this bass line is so fantastic and perfectly designed to balance these upper harmonies.
Oh, and nothing else matters. Never cared.
I love the rise there. You hear so many sounds essentially go up in the overall pitch or pitch center. So there's this kind of rise sound. I'm sure, I think Lane probably did that. That helps focus all of our attention into upper frequencies, and then it stops and you hear the drop that's so much lower, and that's why you have that huge contrast.
Oh, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I know. No matter how far, couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters.
Whoa. Yeah. I love the sound of the vocal percussion in this section. And then at the same time, you've got Geoff taking over the lead. And then right before that, we had Jay in this really spotlighted moment. This is one of the things that makes VoicePlay so good. Each of the members are extremely strong. And it's instead of, sometimes I feel when I hear groups pass around a melody, I feel like, oh, I kind of liked that one better. And with them, I've never felt this way. I've felt like each member is so strong in their area that I just got a new flavor when the melody was passed to somebody else. And then in the backings, I could spend just as much, even perhaps more time listening to the backing vocals because they are so interesting and so detailed and well done. And that's a combination of everybody being great, them having a great team to mix it, also a great team to produce it. It's just, they have everything going for them. I want to go back.
Never cared for what they do.
I love the soul in his voice. His voice pulls at me. And it feels so natural at the same time.
Never cared for what they do.
sadness in it that I think is perfect.
Never cared for what they know.
No, diphthong.
But I know. So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart.
In this vocal percussion line, there's so many little cool things. I'm loving this subtle gulping sound that we have. Violayne is great at making really organic sounding lines. And then some of the sounds almost feel like they are a cavernous drum that's being struck.
Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. And nothing else matters.
I like the way with Geoff's voice here singing the lead, we don't have that bassy bottom filling out in other areas that would kind of get in the way, I think, of Geoff's voice there. And he has a lot of fun playing with some pitches at one point.
Forever trusting who we are.
There!
Nothing else matters.
If you got it, drop it. Nice.
Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I know.
I also just really appreciate that. I feel like the feeling of the song is correct. It is somber. It's often held back, I think, in the beginning, and then it just starts to wail in different parts, and it feels very emotional, right? I want this song to pull at me, and this section in particular started to feel like it was starting to flow out more. I think that they're doing the right thing by keeping that tension and that push and pull really present. You have to have the right emotion to sing this song correctly, I think.
What they do. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know.
No, whoa. And I also, right there, you get a little more of that extra edge from Ellie. Right, that feels James Hetfield.
Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say.
That's so pretty. First of all, Caesar just has a sweetness in his sound that is so beautiful. Sorry. It was a perfect time to bring his voice in there. I feel like that had this beautiful contrast.
Never opened myself this way.
There's an earnestness.
Life is ours,
And then that contrast.
All these words I don't
so
just
good.
say. And nothing else matters. And nothing else.
Oh my gosh, I love the way that we're being taken around different pitch centers. Like, oh, you had this quiet solo part that's higher, super low solo part. Then all of a sudden, everything goes up really high, and then it all fills out, and then it's masterful arranging, and then masterful performance. It's really good.
This way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say. And nothing else matters. And nothing else. Yes. Trust I see and I find it. Yeah.
Whoa! Whoa! Is that a camera shake?
And nothing else matters. And nothing else. Trust I see and I find it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I feel like my whole world just got shaken up. One more time.
And nothing else matters. And nothing I see and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. And nothing else matters. Never care.
Love the soaring high, slightly distorted lines that we're getting up here.
Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. And nothing else matters. Never cared for what they say. They never care for what they say. Never cared for games they play. Never cared for what they do.
Oh.
Nothing else matters. Never cared for what they know. But I know.
I'm honestly blown away by the way that they constructed the build of this piece. And I said before, that's super important. You have to be willing to hold back, I think, and keep it subtle, a little more somber, and then really let it rip. And I thought that it was starting to overflow before. And then we got to this section, and I love the way this is overflowing. You can really tell that they are connected to the song, just letting it rip, which is awesome. And I love seeing the engagement between them of like, oh, hey, we're singing this part together. We're harmonizing here. And then in addition to that, you hear this bass line from Geoff that has its intricacies, and then the percussion line from Lane that has its intricacies. And the way that those are essentially like sort of bookending the entire sound is just fascinating, delightful. I feel like I could lay back in a dark room and just listen to this over and over and over and keep enjoying new glorious details for at least a week straight. I'm gonna go back.
Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view. And nothing else matters. And nothing else matters.
Yes, Ellie.
Never cared for what they say. They never cared for what they say. Never cared for games they play.
Wow, that's gorgeous, Jay.
Never cared for what they do. And nothing else matters. Never cared for what they know. But I know.
I love this fill, and I like the way Lane shows you what he's doing a little bit with his hands too.
But I know.
Boom, 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 boom. Like, I didn't know that we were gonna have a violin enter the scene, and it makes me so happy to see it. And then you had also all kinds of crazy sounds in there, but I love the way it entered. It was thrown in, and then the way that Lane is just jamming out on it. Oh, it's so cool.
Care for what they know. But I know.
It's such a good moment. There's a really, really high, distorted kind of screamed, but not actually screamed, just sung in a like very fierce kind of way. Yeah, that happens up there. And then the bass drops in again, and then the violin starts going. I love the they're so good at doing this push and pull. And then like, where do you go from here? How do you take it to the next level? Because I mentioned before they'd already gone further than I thought they were going to be able to go. And the answer is toss in a violin.
But I know.
Shoot! One more time.
Nothing else.
I love the electric edge there as well. There's a few other things in this section. It's so exciting. And then there's another exciting moment and another exciting moment. It makes me so giddy. Oh, that was actually one of them. That's amazing. I like the way they cut the sound out. They had the kind of like croaky sound and then the screen shaking at the same time. It's like a burping frog. Wow, that top!
So close, no matter how far.
Push and pull is important, especially for building, but a lot of times I feel that people aren't able to wind it down really well. And this is perfection and how they carry it down and don't just totally drop all the energy, because you don't want to drop and restart here. We're looking at a way to sort of dissipate some of it and allow the person feeling the song with you to go through that process as well. I feel that is very, very difficult to catch, and they've done it extremely well. There's also a really cool highlighted harmony part in the middle of that last section that I didn't rewind all the way back to catch. I just wanted to shout out. I loved that moment. Right.
So close, no matter how far.
A lot of that was in the percussion too.
Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Ooh.
There's another one of those beautiful transitions. I'm noticing them a lot between Jay and Ellie, where the second voice will come in on a to sort of bridge you over to the next singer. They're really good at this.
And nothing else matters.
Ooh, pretty. Love the harmony in there and the raising chromatic on the bass as well. It's gorgeous. Gosh, the rumble. I love the way that they've wrapped it around and brought it back home at the end. I feel that this cover gives so much respect to the original while also taking it somewhere new. I loved hearing these layers of harmonies in voices. That's delightful. And then the way that they were able to continue to take it to a new, higher place, then you add to it all of these different intricacies and the amazing performance of every single member, not to mention the incredible arrangement, production, etc. Wow. This is just a fantastic version of Nothing Else Matters. If you want to see some more analysis of VoicePlay, there is an entire playlist over here. They're incredible people, incredible singers, incredible performers. I just love listening to them. So I hope you'll check that out, and may you fall more in love with music every day.